Man, boy, I am so happy. I am so happy right now, boy. Let me tell y'all why. Let me show y'all why. I ain't even going, bruh. This has been a great year. Metro, you done did it again. You did like that, fucked up the rap game with that K-Dot verse. Now, let me roll the footage, man. Let me show y'all what's happening. I'm so happy, can't you tell by my smile? This is big, man, because not only is WWE bringing back a pay-per-view they haven't had in years, really 20, I want to say 20 years. Like, this is the 20th year anniversary of WWE Bad Blood coming back as a premium live event. And, bro, they're bringing it to my hometown. They're bringing it to Atlanta. You best believe I'm going. You best believe I'm buying a ticket as soon as they go on sale, and I'm going. I just told my OG. He said, you know what to do. It's up. Like, this is big, man, because, listen, I thought of this rhetoric a while back that WWE don't really mess with Atlanta as a city like they mess with the Chicagos, the New York, you know, the Florida cities, the LA cities, the Texases. Well, the Texas cities. And the reason why is because back in the day, during the 80s and the 90s, WCW, World Championship Wrestling, was the main empire of wrestling other than WWE, who was WWF at the time. And if you're a real wrestling fan, you know about the Monday Night Wars and the company wars that they had. But you also know that WCW was based in Atlanta because it was mainly owned by Ted Turner, and Ted Turner had a lot of money. He owned TBS networks, which included like Cartoon Network and other channels. So yeah, 90s Atlanta was pretty lit, I'm guessing. I wasn't here until '02. Sorry. But from the looks of it, when WWE bought WCW after WCW shut their doors down in 2001, it seemed like they probably wasn't a big fan of Atlanta being a city that really hosts significant events like that. But if you look in the history of WWE and the pay-per-views they've held, like Royal Rumble 2002, that was in the Phillips Arena, which is now the State Farm Arena now. Then 8 years later at the 2010 Royal Rumble, they did it again. I remember they held the 2012 Hell in a Cell in Atlanta at the same arena. The 2015 Survivor Series, WWE Day 1 in 2022 on New Year's. I actually went to that one. It's Backlash 2007. They even had a WrestleMania here. And the thing about it is, WrestleMania 27 is looked at as one of the worst WrestleManias of all time. So WWE, y'all know what to do. We got a new stadium, Mercedes-Benz Dome, that motherfucking top ceiling, it could come on and come off. Like, imagine that happening during Mania, bro. I don't know if that would actually happen because I don't know how long it actually takes for that roof and that dome to close. But, bro, y'all know what to do, man. Come on, man. Give us another WrestleMania. It's been a decade plus. The last one bombed. Come on, man. It was boof. Come on, man. Fuck with us, man. We'll turn that bitch up. I promise you. We'll be tailgating. We'll be barbecuing. We'll be goddamn trapping outside that motherfucker. Nah, I'm kidding. But nah, y'all know what to do, man. But the fact that this is actually happening, man, I hit my boy up. I said, nigga, you can't, bruh. Because we talked about this. He initially showed me when the rumors when they said that WWE was planning to bring back Bad Blood as a, you know, it was a pay-per-view back in the day. They was planning to bring it back as a PLE this year and have it in October because the October pay-per-view slot, well, the October event slot for PLEs, it's empty right now. We know that in August next month, they're having SummerSlam in Cleveland at the Cleveland Browns Stadium. And then at the end of August, they're going to Germany for Bash in Berlin. But tonight, as of me recording this right now, is Money in the Bank in Toronto. So they really on like an international tour. They had Clash at the Castle in Scotland in June. They went to Saudi Arabia for their King and Queen of the Ring event back in May. They went to Lyon, France for Backlash in May, which was lit, I'm telling you. And then not too long ago, they went to Perth, Australia for their Elimination Chamber event. And we can't forget about WrestleMania 40, which was held in the Eagle Stadium in Philly. One of the best WrestleManias. I mean, that shit was hard. And then all last year and since 2022 with them going to places like San Juan, Puerto Rico, London, England. They've been everywhere, man. They've been everywhere. They've been, Cardiff, Wales. They've been everywhere, man. They've been making shit happen. But this makes me happy, man. And, my final class in college is gonna be taken in October. As long as I stay on my shit and as long as I grind and I don't fail a class, I will finish my final class in October, and in December I walk the stage. And there is not a more perfect I finished college gift I could give myself than going to this event. But what will happen at this event? That's what we need to talk about. Well, I know one thing that mainly needs to happen. Mainly two things. Because if you know, Drew McIntyre versus CM Punk is the most talked about feud in the WWE right now as far as online interaction, as far as engagement. Well, I wouldn't say the most talked about, but it's been the longest running like feud they've been having right now. Well, I can't even say that because if you look at what they got going on with the Bloodline, Kevin Owens, Cody Rhodes, and Randy Orton, that actually stems from years and years. So, but you get what I'm saying. CM Punk and Drew McIntyre this year in 2024 has pretty much been a candidate for a feud of the year. I mean, both of these niggas are nominated as Player Hater of the Year along with Kendrick Lamar. So this is really a great blood feud, and a lot of us seeing it, we kind of see it in. We kind of see it coming head to head at SummerSlam. But to me, you can have the match at SummerSlam, but that don't mean it gotta end there, because this pay-per-view is perfect. That's how you know I'm a 2000s kid. I'm calling it a pay-per-view. I don't feel like, to me, it's like calling Twitter X. Like, I'm not calling it that shit. But the point I'm trying to make is, bro, this pay-per-view is literally reserved. They are kind of, not assuming, they are kind of alleging and kind of, you know, implying that that feud will headline that event. That feud will be important for that event because this is a blood feud that they've been having. Last time we seen Drew and Punk together on TV, Drew literally bodied this nigga and had him bloodied up in the ones in his hometown, of Chicago. That don't scream, bro, I'm gonna get your ass back. Nothing screams I have to get back more than that, man. And something tells me Punk is going to show up in Toronto tonight, which I'm going to get to later. But, bruh, I want to go to this event and see maybe CM Punk take on Drew in a First Blood match. I would love to go to this event and see CM Punk take on Drew in a Hell in a Cell match. If I go to this event and they have a Hell in a Cell match, this will be one of the most euphoric experiences of my fucking life. I've experienced a steel cage match at a WWE live event before, but I never experienced something monumental like, you know, a WrestleMania or let alone a Hell in a Cell match. So, bro, WWE, you know what to do. I hope everything goes well up till October because this event is huge, and this is what I'm looking forward to now. Now that they've announced that they've confirmed that they're coming to Atlanta, State Farm Arena, October 6th, Saturday. It's up. I'm going, man. I'm calling off work. I'm not going. I need to do that now after this video, matter of fact. Bruh. I'm making plans. I may take my dad. I may take my homeboy Ray Blank. I just texted him saying, nigga, we going. I may take a girl. I don't know. It may be a group trip. All I know is I will be in that motherfucker and I will be seated. But in other words, like I said, tonight is Money in the Bank. And as of right now, I can get into my predictions for WWE Money in the Bank 2024. So apparently I found out that the event will be opening with the men's Money in the Bank, which is featuring Jey Uso, Andrade, Drew McIntyre, Chad Gable. So my pick for this match is honestly unpredictable. I don't know who can go into this match winning. I do know I don't see Andrade winning, and I also don't see Drew McIntyre winning, as I just stated that CM Punk and Drew are in a feud of the year. So it wouldn't make sense for Drew to win and then, you know, have this cash in where Punk comes in and just ruins his cash in to enhance the feud. CM Punk has already cost Drew 3 times this year. He cost him at WrestleMania. He only held the World Heavyweight Championship for 5 minutes, even though that was initial revenge for Drew costing CM Punk his opportunity to be at his first WrestleMania in 10 years at the beginning of the year when he injured him in the Rumble match. He broke his arm off of a DDT. Shit happens in wrestling, and that was one of the most kind of eyebrow raising things to happen, because it's like, well, damn, he didn't even really, a DDT, like, that happens, but damn, he still ended up getting hurt. That makes me think of his health and makes me think, is Punk more fragile now? I don't know, but we'll see when he comes back eventually. But to me, it doesn't make sense. And then the other time he costed him was the night after WrestleMania when Drew had an opportunity to get a rematch for the championship. And then he costed him in the most big way in his hometown at Clash at the Castle. And that was pretty much like, yeah, Drew is going to kill this nigga. And he did. 5 days later, in his hometown of Chicago in front of his own people. In the ones. Punk had some clean ass ones. I just had to, the sneakerhead in me had to point that out. But yeah, man, we know that Drew is only likely in this match. So CM Punk can show up and push him off a ladder, which I'm rooting for. Because like I said, these niggas are candidates for Player Head of the Year. And sometimes hate can be a great thing. Now, Carmelo Hayes is somebody I possibly see winning, but the thing about it is I think it's possibly too early for him to win unless they really were trying to let us know as fans, hey, we like Carmelo Hayes and we're going to push him. Y'all fine with that? I would be, but as long as you don't shove him down our throats, because I like Melo. I've always fucked with Melo since I first seen him on NXT and seen what he could do and seen his character progress and seen Trick Williams join him and he became North American Champion and grew to be the face of the brand of NXT. But pushing him too soon can go really bad if people aren't really feeling him that way. Because no matter how talented somebody is, you push them down people's throats the wrong way and people are going to react probably in the wrong way. Chad Gable is a possibility I see winning, honestly, because of him just resigning, but with the Wyatt Six trying to kill him, and with his family and Otis, Maxine, and Akira Tozawa possibly turning on him, and then him linking up with another family and the Creed brothers and Ivy Nile. I think Chad got too much on his plate right now to be walking around with a briefcase. I think he's walking around with a target, and that's bad enough. So my top two to win, honestly, would have to be LA Knight, yeah, or Jey Uso, yeet. Because the thing about it is, Jey Uso has been on a push since the beginning of the year, since he's really came to Raw. And him being Mr. Money in the Bank, I don't know. Because we know what's going on with the bloodline, which we're going to get into later. But him being world champion, last year people saying he should dethrone Roman. And I got to admit, I was one of those people that was like, nah. Mainly because it's like, I didn't see the Usos being split successfully and both being single stars respectively. But I was wrong. Jimmy's the more unserious older brother that's trying to tag along with Roman and Solo and still be a part of the bloodline, even though he was the first one to kick Roman in the face, so none of that shit made sense. But seeing how he got kicked out of the bloodline by Solo, it's going to be great when he returns. And Jay has been on a redemption run, going to Raw, rewriting his own story, saying it's just him, Uso. The Yeet movement has been powerful. This shit probably more powerful. Well, not more powerful, but shit remind me of like the Yes movement. The Yes movement, the Yeah movement, and the Yeet movement gotta be the big three of just chants associated with the wrestler. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit's huge. And then LA Knight, who's beefing with Logan Paul, I could see him winning. I could see Logan Paul costing LA Knight as well. Because if you pay attention to the last 2 months, well, if you pay attention to the last year, LA Knight has been on the hunt for the United States Championship. Yes, he's feuded with AJ Styles. Yes, he's taken a couple of cracks at Roman Reigns and his undisputed WWE Championship. But last year, after he lost him to win, me included, he announced that he would be going after the U.S. Championship at any cost. And throughout that time, he won a SummerSlam Battle Royal. He had a mini feud with The Miz. He joined the Bloodline story with Cena and linked up with AJ and even linked up with Randy. And then he defeated AJ at WrestleMania. So I think if you're not going to give him the Money in the Bank briefcase, at least give him the win over Logan Paul, Cleveland, SummerSlam. Even though it's Logan Paul's hometown, I think Logan will be 100 times a better champion than... Wait, my bad. I think LA Knight will be 100 times a better U.S. champion than Logan Paul. Logan Paul has been a terrible champion, and not by the metric of not being entertaining. All I'm saying is LA Knight could possibly walk out with the win tonight, and I would be happy with that. But my gut tells me they're going to go with Jey Uso and continue his push. But then again, Gable just signed a new contract. And maybe, he got too much shit going on. But Melo is a young, uprising talent, and they really see. That's what I mean. I don't even know who gonna win, but I know I'm gonna be watching, and I'm gonna be seated. And I love when shit is unpredictable like this. So can't even predict this one. But my next prediction is for the women's Money in the Bank. We got Io, Zoe, Naomi, Chelsea, Tiffany, and Lyra. Now, I ain't gonna lie, both of the 6 men and 6 women ladder matches are stacked. It's like they chose 6 of the most consistent wrestlers on their roster now. And the thing about it is they could have chose 6 more that's just as consistent or talented, but just shows where WWE is right now as far as talent goes. Now, this is pretty easy to me to decide who I would really want to win. Because this is between Tiffany and Chelsea. Because I really think Tiffany is that young, rising upstart that's up next as far as the women's division. And you can hear it in the fans' reactions. You can hear it how people feel about her online. Hell, you can hear her express that volume in the ring. Because girl is talented. Now, Chelsea, she talented in the ring too, but her character is more driven in WWE. You go outside and look at her matches when she was with her husband, Matt Cardona, a.k.a. Zack Ryder, when she was in Impact, when she was in GCW. You know what I mean? She was wrestling. She was doing more than she really was now as far as like being an enhancement talent and letting her character, which is basically a modern Karen, you know, amplify her as a wrestler. Like, her character is more stronger than her in-ring work rate. And ain't nothing wrong with that because, you know, WWE is that one platform. It's the one company where that actually can work wonders for you behind the scenes and, you know, backstage. If your character outweighs your wrestling, it actually can work a benefit for you. And we've seen that different generations, different times. Because there's wrestlers on the roster that can wrestle, but just are like charisma vacuums. They ain't really got character. They ain't really got the charisma to make you want to give a damn about them, which is, you know, how I feel about Zoe Stark. Zoe Stark is talented, but what is her character like? Why should we really give a damn? Even with her being paired with Trish Stratus and her hitting her finisher on Trish Stratus and turning on her, that didn't really do much for her. She still comes out to no reactions, but hopefully they can figure that out and she can figure that out and, you know, make something happen before possibly she gets future endeavored one day, or if she just gets, you know, tossed by the wayside. Now, Lyra, she's kind of in the middle with me because talented in the ring. I liked her since I first seen her come from NXT UK to NXT. And I definitely do think her gimmick is kind of, you know, you either get it or you don't. But I like her. She's an interesting, you know, women's wrestler. And seeing her in NXT to now, you know, she's progressed. And she could possibly be the one to win, but she kind of falls under the Carmelo Hayes category of it's too early for her to win because she just came. Now with Tiffany, would you say it's too early for Tiffany too? But she's been on the main roster since the Royal Rumble, and I'd say since then she's got pushed a decent amount with her being in the Elimination Chamber match. She wasn't on the Mania card, but maybe tonight could be a makeup of her not being on the Mania card and her propelling to the main event and eventually cashing in on Bayley. Maybe at SummerSlam. Maybe, who knows when, but I could definitely see her cashing in on Bayley or even Liv for that matter. So my pick is pretty much easy. I would like to see Tiffany Stratton or Chelsea Green win. Hell, you could even have Naomi win and have her go back to the top spot in the women's division and become women's champion. And there's an interesting kind of story if she would win because she's been kind of forming this friendship with Naomi since she's been back in January, and having her win and possibly turn heel or cash in on Bayley on some you thought I had your back type shit, but nah, it ain't none of that. I don't know. Heel Naomi is a great Naomi. If you remember the Team Bad Naomi from, you know, 2014, 2015 era before she really started feeling the glow and having everybody else feel the glow, heel Naomi was on point. So I really give the edge to Tiffany and Chelsea as far as winning the Money in the Bank ladder match, but it can go either way. Naomi could fuck around and win. Io, I don't see her winning for a second year in a row as I think is the beginning of the end for Damage Control. And I don't see Zoe Starks winning either. So yeah, Tiffany or Chelsea for that matter. Now for the Intercontinental Championship, we've got Sami Zayn versus Braun Breaker. I seen an interesting take on TikTok from a wrestling content creator basically talking about their problem with Sami Zayn. Not that he's a bad wrestler, not that he's not entertaining. It's just that Sami Zayn has this personality, or at least he's been displaying on TV, as if he still thinks he's the underdog. And that is just not true. This ain't 2016, 2017 no more, bro. You not the underdog. You're the Intercontinental Champion. You're a 3-time Intercontinental Champion, for that matter. You main evented WrestleMania last year with your best friend Kevin Owens, and you ended the longest reigning tag team titles reign. And you ended the longest reigning tag team title reign in history when y'all beat the Usos. And y'all main evented as... Bro, what tag team championship matches main evented at WrestleMania? Exactly. That's just a testament to the fact that Sami was so big between 2022 and 2023. He worked his ass off. And in the previous year, he fought Johnny Knoxville, in which was an entertaining, unexpectedly entertaining match. That was probably one of the best matches that whole weekend. But see, Sami has been a heel since 2017, and then with him turning back to a babyface in 2023, I think there was a long period of just kind of forgetting how good Sami was. So him being the underdog again is kind of just a go-to. But then again, bro, you beat Gunther at WrestleMania. That's 2 long streaks you done ended at WrestleMania. You are not no underdog, bro. You are him. It's just you don't think so for some reason. And him carrying himself like he doesn't really believe in himself, but he does through this little underdog shtick, it can be tiring. So I kind of agree with that wrestling creator. I kind of see what they were saying, and I listened to him and heard him out instead of assuming he was hating on Sami. But I don't hate Sami. I think he's one of the best talents on the damn roster. But then again, him losing... I honestly, at the beginning of the year, seen him as more of a pick to win the Money in the Bank ladder match. Like, I thought he would be in the ladder match tonight, and he would win and eventually cash in on the World Championship. But we, in present day, know that Gunther is more focused and more featured in the world title picture, at least for August, between SummerSlam and Bash in Berlin. Because you know they going to have him go into Germany as champion, or at least win the title in Germany if he doesn't win it at SummerSlam. Either way. But overall, man, and then on the other hand, you got Braun Breaker, who's been impressive as hell since he stepped on the scene in 2021 and been the face of the 2.0 era of NXT. He got drafted to Raw in April and officially called up to the main roster, and he just hasn't missed. He's had bangers with Ricochet, a banger with Ilya Dragunov. He's been spearing niggas. His banger with Sheamus got interrupted, but he made that up when he speared Ludwig Kaiser out of his boots. So I'm not gonna lie, Braun Breaker winning tonight in the fashion of Brock Lesnar beating John Cena at SummerSlam 2014, I wouldn't mind that. Have Braun Breaker absolutely crush Sami in front of the Toronto crowd. Have them Canadians be fucking heartbreaking. Like, have them look like how they probably first heard Not Like Us. Like, stop. He's already dead, man. That'll be the second time a Canadian got killed by somebody. That'll be the second time a Canadian got their title taken this year. Holy shit. I don't know if I even want that for Canada tonight. Nah, man, but I expect a good match between Breaker and Sami, but something tells me Sami may retain tonight. Now, if Breaker wins, I'll kind of be surprised, but I won't, because it's Braun Breaker. He's a beast, and we know he's a future world champion. This Intercontinental Championship reign and feud is just most likely a stepping stone for him to the main event, just like Gunther was for the Intercontinental Championship. And now, well, he's a main eventer. I'm proud of my boy. I love to see it. And now we also got the World Championship match between Damian Priest and Seth Rollins. Now, Damian Priest has been talked about as somebody else who people don't really believe in, because it seems like he doesn't really believe in himself as champion. Now, can't really say I see what other people are saying, but then again, I kind of do. Because the thing about being a champion when you're in the group, and that was the thing with Kofi during his 2019 WWE title reign, you have to, at least to an extent, separate yourself from the group. Like, at least Big E did that. Like, he would, unite with the New Day at least probably once or twice. But then he would get back on his own shit. It was just a presentation of him as champion. Like, him cashing in his money in the bank just to be a transitional champion for Brock Lesnar. Just so Brock and Roman could have their title for title match at Mania 38. In the end, it was all dumb. It was all dumb, pointless, and unnecessary, and a waste of time. And we wish Big E could have got better. But Seth coming back in with the stipulation of if Seth wins and Damian is out of Judgment Day, I don't know. This makes it interesting. I'm not gonna lie. Seth could possibly win, and then we get Seth versus Gunther at Mania. Not Mania, but SummerSlam. As I do think that's the more interesting match for SummerSlam than Damian Priest versus Gunther. But I don't know. Nah, I do know. My prediction is for Seth to win. I actually kind of want Seth to win. Because him regaining the championship after the injuries he's went through, and then Damian being out of the Judgment Day, that's only going to make the Judgment Day story with Liv and Dom and what they got going on, and then the tension rising between Finn and Damian Priest. That's just going to make this all more interesting. And when Rhea comes back, you have fire flames. And Carlito and JD McDonough, they're there too. Yeah, I like what's going on. So yeah, I think I'm gonna go with Seth to win this one, be on the safe side. But if they have DP win, I'm not gonna lie, DP versus Gunther at SummerSlam, it could be a hard hitting battle between two folk. It could be a hard-hitting battle between two big men that came from NXT in front of the Cleveland crowd. But I don't know, man. Seth versus Gunther, they teased that back in January, and I felt like we were eventually going to get that possibly at Mania with Gunther unifying the Intercontinental and World Heavyweight Championship. But I think now is the perfect time to pull that match. But then again, do you have Seth beat Damian Priest just to go on in August to lose the title? Do you have Seth Rollins, of all people, be a transitional champion? Or do you not mind Seth Rollins being a transitional champion because he was the first World Heavyweight Champion last year? Decisions. This is a pretty unpredictable card. Except for the main event. Because something tells me that when it comes to the main event of Cody Rhodes teaming up with Randy Orton and Kevin Owens to face the Bloodline 2.0 featuring Solo Sikoa, Tama Tonga, and the debut of Jacob Fatu. That's the main reason I'm interested in this match. Other than, of course, the obvious great storytelling they've been doing and the possible outcome of a return. Maybe it's Jimmy, maybe it's Roman. Bro, this match is to set up Solo eventually going after the WWE Championship. Solo is the one that cost Cody the WWE title at WrestleMania 39. It was him. It was literally him. And it seems like they've ignored that for so long in the 1 year build up to the rematch that now with Roman out of the picture, with Paul gone, and with Jimmy gone as well, and Solo leading the new version of the Bloodline with the Tongans and with Jacob Fatu's crazy ass, and he's doing something that Roman himself has said that one day he's gonna do. Jimmy and Jay has said, I don't even want to be the tribal chief. It may be Solo being the tribal chief. And guess what? Words can come to life, and we're seeing it in real time now. But it's going to be even more fire when we see the Usos reunite, possibly, and Roman come back and reunite with the Usos and hit his eye. Yeah, I understand, man. I was tripping, y'all. My fault. You know what I mean? And it's just going to be a simple apology, and niggas is going to hug and make up. And yeah, we're basically going to have a face bloodline like we did back in 2020 when the Usos and Roman was initially face before Roman became a narcissist and tried to get Jay and Jimmy on his side. Yeah, man. The Bloodline story has been an interesting storyline for the last 5 years as far as how they've been telling it, how they've been using the superstars to propel them individually. And yeah, man, tonight I think we definitely are in the 9th inning in SummerSlam. We will see how this saga holds up. But who wins? What team wins tonight? Does Cody Kevin Owens and Randy take the win over the new version of the Bloodline? Or do you have the new version of the Bloodline establish their dominance over a fighter like Kevin Owens, a prize fighter, a legend and a legend killer in Randy Orton, and the WWE champion and the main face of the company in Cody Rhodes? I think you have the Bloodline win because, like I said, Solo has said he's the tribal chief. Solo is teased that he wants the WWE championship. Jacob Fatu is a beast. Tama Tonga is crazy as hell. Man is his throw. So I think the Bloodline winning will be believable. I think you can keep the feud going. But then again, part of me thinks that the SummerSlam WWE Championship match should be Randy versus Cody. If you look closely, Randy's been teasing that Cody's possibly going to get kicked in the head or an RKO out of nowhere. And we're going to see the dark, menacing Randy Orton that's going after a championship again. And it's going to be at the expense of his former protege and his former legacy partner, Cody Rhodes. Because Cody ain't no little pup no more. He's evolved. He's big dog Cody now. So seeing this version of Cody versus the legendary legend killer veteran Randy Orton, that screams SummerSlam WWE Championship match. But then again, they made it clear that Solo wants the WWE Championship because, like Solo said on SmackDown last night, quote unquote, Roman wasn't man enough to defend the championship at Mania 40. But really what that means is we didn't have the numbers game like we thought we did, like we had the previous year. So now Solo's man. He kicked Paul Heyman out just because Paul Heyman wouldn't acknowledge him. So all of this makes for interesting TV. And I think the Bloodline takes the dub tonight. So overall, man, that's my predictions for Money in the Bank 2024 tonight in Toronto. I think possibly the unpredictable men's Money in the Bank ladder match will be won by Jey Uso, even though I'm pulling more for LA Knight. Tiffany Stratton or Chelsea Green will win the women's Money in the Bank ladder match. I think Sammy possibly retains the Intercontinental Championship match if they're not going to push Braun all the way to the moon and slap the IC Championship on him. I would like Seth to win the World Championship just to see the Judgment Day crumble and how that goes, and possibly get the Ring Ganagal versus the Visionary at SummerSlam and what I know will be a banger of a match. And then on top of that, the Bloodline will defeat Cody Rhodes, Randy Orton, and Kevin Owens tonight. Those are my 5 predictions. I stamped that. If we get a return, possibly Jimmy Uso as a return tonight. I definitely think Punk will get involved in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Yeah, man. See y'all tonight. Y'all enjoy if you watching Money in the Bank. And man, if you in the Atlanta area and you plan on attending Bad Blood, I will see you in October, because I'm telling you right now, I'm manifesting it. I will be there and I will be seated. Always, one love. Y'all be easy. Subscribe. For sure.